What would the crucial limit be among these? A. Washing fruit before using. B. Cleaning the food preparation area every day. C. Checking eggs aren't past their best before date. D. Cooking to a core temperature of 70 degrees for 2 minutes. When bacteria are chilled to below 5°C, what happens? A. Bacteria is active, so multiplying fast. B. Bacteria is dormant, grows slowly or not at all. C. Bacteria dies. D. Bacteria is in a deep sleep. Which of the following is not a corrective action example? A. Rejecting a delivery of fish received at an internal temperature of 60 F, 16°C. B. Covering a cut with a bandage and finger caught. C. Throwing out potato salad that has remained at room temperature for longer than 4 hours. Which of these is an example of a hacked prerequisite program? A. Washing vegetables. B. Approving suppliers. C. Buying organic food. D. Only using local farmers. What is the first step in creating a hacked system? A. Constructing a flow diagram. B. Establishing control measures. C. Assembling the hacked team. D. Determining critical control points. Why do you need to create a flow diagram? A. To show a step-by-step guide for each process. B. To show employees how things work. C. To identify where equipment is needed. D. To help food inspectors understand your business. What is a critical control point? A. A hazard with an easy solution. B. An area of the premises where food safety is most important. C. The point in a process where a hazard must be prevented, eliminated, or reduced. Which of these would be a critical limit? A. Cleaning the food preparation area every day. B. Cooking to a core temperature of 70 degrees for 2 minutes. C. Washing fruit before using. D. Checking eggs aren't past their best before date. Process flow diagrams must be developed for each food product type. A. True. B. False. What are the 3 types of food safety hazards? A. Chemical, social, physical. B. Chemical, biological, physical. C. Biochemical, direct, indirect. The Grand Forks critical limit for metal is A. 3 millimeters. B. 7 millimeters. C. 5 millimeters. D. 9 millimeters. It is okay to skip a metal detector check if something important comes up. A. True. B. False. During a metal detector check, if all test bags are fully rejected by the metal detector, it is considered a pass. A. True. B. False. If a metal detector does not reject the Test 1 standards during a test, it must be shut down until it is working properly. A. True. B. False. The QA team leader completes the documentation verification each shift. A. True. B. False. Third-party auditors, such as BRC and Silica, review the Grand Forks HACCP plan annually and will audit metal detector check records. A. True. B. False. The HACCP team is responsible for A. Updating the HACCP plan annually or as processing changes occur. B. Checking CCP documentation each shift. C. Doing the CCP metal detector checks every half hour. Allergens are an example of a physical food safety hazard. A. True. B. False. When performing a metal detector test, the 3 test spheres must be run on 3 consecutive bags. A. True. B. False. Which of the following would not be an example of a corrective action? A. Continuing to cook a hamburger that has not reached an internal temperature of 155 F, 68 C, for 15 sections. B. Throwing out potato salad that has remained at room temperature for longer than 4 hours. C. Covering a cut with a bandage and finger caught. Which of the following is not necessary to include in a HACCP plan? A. Final cooking temperatures. B. Employee food safety training. C. Recipes or formulas. D. Material safety data sheets, MSDS. Which of the following is not an example of a critical limit? A. Cook chicken breasts to an internal temperature of 165 F, 74 C, for 15 seconds. B. Store uncooked chicken breasts at 41 F, 5 C. C. Discard cooked chicken breasts if they remain between 41 F and 135 F, 5 C, 135 C, for more than 4 hours. Which of the following is not one of the 7 HACCP principles? A. Identifying corrective actions. B. Establishing critical limits. C. Assessing hazards. D. Revising recipes. Checking the internal temp of a pork roast may be an example of which HACCP principle? A. Verification. B. Monitoring. C. Record keeping. D. Hazard analysis. Which of the following would not be a part of a hazard analysis in the HACCP system? A. Identifying potential food hazards. B. Listing the corrective actions. C. Grouping food items by how they are processed in an establishment. A CCP is a step where A. Food should be discarded. B. A hazard can be controlled. C. A less expensive ingredient can be substituted. D. A supervisor should take over. Which statement best describes a CCP? A. The point at which food arrives at the door of your establishment. B. The last step at which you can prevent, eliminate, or reduce the risk of food hazards. C. The point at which you decide whether food should be served to the customer. HACCP focuses on A. Identifying and preventing, eliminating, or reducing hazards throughout the flow of food. B. Verifying that food is fresh when it is delivered. C. Protecting meat from spoilage. D. Producing food in large quantities. In the process of developing a HACCP plan for your establishment, you have established minimum and maximum limits that must be met to prevent, eliminate, or reduce hazards to an acceptable level. What is the next step? A. Verifying that the system works. B. Establishing monitoring procedures. C. Establishing critical limits. In the process of developing a HACCP plan for your establishment, you have discovered the points in the flow of food that are essential to eliminate, reduce, or prevent a food safety hazard. What is the next step? A. Establishing critical limits. B. Conducting a hazard analysis. C. Identifying corrective actions. A HACCP system could help demonstrate that a company A. Takes precautions to prevent contamination. B. Supplies the best quality food to its customers. C. Employs qualified staff in managerial positions. D. Meets all relevant food labeling legislation. How many Codex HACCP principles are there? A. 8. B. 7. C. 1. D. 2. The definition of a hazard is A. Something with the potential to cause harm. B. The growth of mold on cheese. C. A piece of metal in cheese. D. A small piece of flexible plastic packaging. Control measures at critical control points must A. Reduce hazards to acceptable levels. B. Reduce the need for monitoring. C. Eliminate all food safety hazards. D. Reduce the risk of food spoilage. Rejecting delivery of over-temperature raw materials, informing supplier and investigating the cause. A. Corrective action. B. Hazard. C. Control measure. D. Monitoring. Monitoring systems should specify all of the following except for A. Who is responsible? B. How it should be carried out. C. How often it should be done. D. Who can authorize the restart of production. Compliance audit of calibration schedule is an example of verification. A. False. B. True. What is this an example of? Testing of chlorine levels during washing of salad by supervisor. A. Corrective action. B. Control measures. C. Monitoring. D. Critical limits. The purpose of it is to provide a clear, simple outline of the steps involved in a food process. A. Hazard analysis. B. Monitoring procedure. C. Verification exercise. D. Flow diagram. The most important element in starting an effective food safety management system is A. Conducting a hazard analysis. B. Obtaining management commitment. C. Establishing prerequisite programs. D. An operational employee health program. Which one of the following is considered a prerequisite program? A. Personal hygiene. B. Identifying critical control points. C. Monitoring procedures. D. Setting critical limits. When assembling the HACCP team, the most important thing to consider is A. Including individuals from multiple disciplines. B. To assure the team does not include local personnel. C. Creating a team of quality assurance and control specialists. Determining the likelihood of a hazard occurring. A. Must be established during monitoring a present hazard. B. Is part of the hazard analysis being conducted. C. Is when the hazard is identified as a critical control point. D. Happens during establishing critical limits for the hazard. Wherever possible, knowing the of a hazard should be included when performing a hazard analysis. A. Severity and adverse health effects. B. The most likely critical limits. C. Records from the previous year. D. Associated past foodborne illnesses. An example of a critical control point is A. Dicing raw ingredient for the preparation of soup mix. B. Reviewing the source of raw ingredients for a food product. C. Cooking a raw food product to the critical limit. D. Serving finished, ready-to-eat product. A potential hazard identified in a HACCP plan is A. Paper packaging. B. Food intolerance. C. Glass fragment. D. Aluminum cookware. When is the best time to update a HACCP plan? A. 18 months after development for the product and process. B. After the regulatory agency performs review of product and process. C. After performing an on-site flow diagram of product and process. A solid foundation for the production of safe food is best defined as A. A risk control management plan. B. A hazard analysis. C. A prerequisite program. D. An integrated pest management program. Corrective actions are put into practice. A. After the critical limits process. B. After monitoring the process. C. Before identifying the hazard. D. Before determining critical control points. In a food safety management system, a hazard may be prevented by having controls established in the A. Pre-operational program standards. B. Management safety standards. C. Operational prerequisite program. D. Total quality management program. A food processing plant that produces canned salmon may use which of the following regulations as a prerequisite program? A. Good retail practices. B. Good manufacturing practices. C. CFR Title 21 Part 120. Knowledge of an emerging pathogen. A. Requires establishing a new HACCP system to be developed. B. Is the responsibility of the frontline employee. C. Must be first analyzed by the food laboratory. D. Necessitates reviewing and, if required, altering the current HACCP system.